Are you a service-based business owner looking to increase profits to fund your lifestyle? Well, this podcast is for you. We bring you inspirational guests sharing actionable tips to solve many of the struggles you face each and every day. And now, over to your host, Paul Higgins.
Hi, Paul here. Before we get into the show, would you like to make a great first impression on LinkedIn? If so, I have something just for you. When people search for your name on Google, your LinkedIn profile will normally come up first. Before meeting someone for the first time, how often do they view your LinkedIn profile? For many coaches and consultants I begin to work with, their profiles don't do them any justice. I've created a simple solution where you can whip your profile into shape to have your best foot forward when attracting new clients on LinkedIn. Go to blgdownload.com, so that's blgdownload.com to get your 5 killer tips today. Hello to the Build, Live, Give Solo podcast, episode number 280. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you love what you hear, please subscribe. You can go to blgpodcast.com to do that quickly. I recommend listening to episode 0.5 when you first come on. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. I love listening to podcasts and always have follow-up questions. If you're the same, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions and lodge yours, and I promise to answer it, just like Kylie. So a big shout out to Kylie, who asked me, what can a VA do for me? I get many people asking me this all the time, so I want to cover it today in today's podcast. Why don't you check out past shows on your favorite platform? Just search Build, Live, Give. Today's topic is, what can a sales VA, virtual assistant, do? So what you will learn is, I'll cover 9 key areas that they can help with, and also where you can start to go and find your own person. So for regulars, you probably know this, I spent 18 years in sales at Coca-Cola. We had amazing systems, but we also had admin support. All the analysis we did was around 50% of sales was admin. So we had that. Actually, as I got more senior in the business, I always had an executive assistant, and it just completely made my life enjoyable. So I left and started my business in 2011, and I hired a VA. They were local in Australia. And then I ended up going to the Philippines, and not to bore you, but I ended up growing a substantial VA business. And now I still use sales VA. So I think I've got some really good experience to share with you on this podcast. So we're going to cover the 9 key areas. Just the first thing I want to say before we cover them, though, is you need to ensure your security is protected, right? Because there are certain things that your VA may be doing in your accounts, i.e. LinkedIn. So you may want to make sure that you've got the right security in place. So if you've got any questions about that, because they're probably specific, just go to that paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions, leave me a question, and I'll definitely get back to you with my answer. So what's number one? Oh, sorry. And I should also say too that, it's a personal choice, right? I get my VAs to send as me in LinkedIn, but they only use my words, right? So they're my words. They're just sending it on my behalf. So if you think about it, it's, my words, not my time. So you may not be au fait with that. If that's the case, that's cool. But if you are and you want to learn how you can use a VA more to help you with sales, please continue. So number one is posting. So when people like and comment on my posts, I get the VA to go and thank them, and then also send a connection request if they're in my ideal client. And, some of my posts I get, 50,000 views, I get hundreds of likes and comments. So that keeps them very busy. So that's number one, posting. Number two is profile views. So I've got a premium account. I think it's, I can't remember now, but I think it's about $29 US a month. And that gives me access to the people that have viewed my profile in the last 90 days. And what my VA does is go in, once again, has a look at those and thanks and sends a connection request for those that they think are an ideal client again. So posting profiles. Number three is birthday messages. So I've just got a video that I send. So once again, my VA sends it for me, but it's me in the video. It's not a custom video. It's just saying happy birthday to all of my first connections. And what I believe, and I haven't got, it's subjective, I don't know the exact fact, but apparently LinkedIn like when you're active outside of just sending connection requests. So it's got something to do with their algorithm. So if you're not sending birthday messages, it doesn't have to be a video, but they can send them on your behalf. A video just makes it easy because the VA can just pop that straight in. So number 4 is LinkedIn stories. So not everyone's got access to stories. I have here in Australia, so I post a story every day. It takes me 1 or 2 minutes and I might get anywhere between 30 and 80 views. Sometimes I ask a question. If they're answering a question on my behalf, they will follow up with that person. So the 5th is first connections to list. I think this is a massive opportunity. I've got 16,000 first connections on LinkedIn, but there's nowhere near enough of those on my list. So I get my VA to send, once again, a message that I would send myself, but they're just doing the heavy lifting. And we also use some automation there. So once again, if you want to find out what that is in more detail, just get in contact with me. So before we go into 6 to 9, I'd like to talk about Dubb, D-U-B-B. It's an all-in-one sales and marketing video platform that helps you to attract, convert, and retain more happy clients. So I use it this week to record how-to videos for my VA with some of the changes that I made to my sales CRM. Why not check Dubb out yourself? Just go to buildlivegive.com/Dubb for our affiliate link. So number 6, actually, I'll just recap for a moment. Remember that this is all going to be in the show notes, but 1 was posting, 2 is profile views, 3 birthday messages, 4 LinkedIn stories, 5 is getting your first connections onto your email list. Now 6 is outreach, and this is a really big one, right? So what they do is set up all of your ideal clients in Sales Navigator as a saved search. It's really important. So there's so many tips, but ultimately you want to get them to get just slightly less than 1,000 people in those lists that they can then send a connection request to. So I get them to do that. Once again, it's a standard script that we have. We've got all the scripts as part of the sales machine. And what I do is then engage with them. So once they've connected, then I engage. Now, I must admit, we do test sometimes, depends on the product that we've got and the service, whether my team does it, my VA on my behalf, but at the moment I'm doing that myself. And then what they also do is add them to Copper. I use Copper as a sales CRM, so all of the information's in there for me then to follow up the lead. And a lot of the outreach itself is done in Airtable. I don't have the time to go into detail there, but we've got quite a sophisticated system that works well. So that was number 6, outreach. Number 7 is inbound. So we all get inbound connections. Some of them are great, and as you know, some of them aren't. So they filter the ones that they think are going to add value, either as an expert or a potential client, could be an ideal client. And what they do is they send them, once again, a script saying, did you find out about me through a post or my podcast? And as a podcaster, it's a great way to find out who's actually listening to your podcast, because I know you guys are loyal, you listen, or it might be your first time, but it's very rare that people will reach out to you. It's just by chance. So that's what we do to make sure that people have got the right intent when they're sending inbound messages. We just don't accept all of them. So that was number 7, inbound. Number 8 is sales CRM. I briefly mentioned it before, but it's so important to have correct data entered, and just don't waste all that time. Like, all the deals are set up for me. I've got all the information there. So when I jump on a call, I've got the research, I've got everything, which maximizes my time, but most importantly, helps me to really solve the problem for the potential client. Also, it helps with the accuracy of reporting as well. So last but not least is webinars. So I just recently did a webinar. You can actually go back and hear all my thoughts on how to do it on episode 276. It's called B2B webinars. But running LinkedIn events is a great way to get people to your webinars. So we had over 300 people say yes to the event, but they don't register because the way that LinkedIn set it up, they don't automatically register in your system. So once again, the sales VA went and sent all of those that had said yes to the LinkedIn event but didn't register. A huge saving of my time. And also what they can do is outreach to clients in your first connections also to invite them to the webinar that haven't already registered to the event. So really powerful stuff. So a quick summary recap again. We had 1 was posting, 2 profile views, 3 birthday messages, 4 was LinkedIn stories, 5 was first connections to your email list, 6 was outreach, 7 was inbound, 8 was sales CRM, and finally 9 was webinars. So you can see there's a huge amount of work that you can get someone else to do it for you. So where do you start? Look, I think there's probably 4 key things. First thing is just ask your peers, right? See if they're using someone and they might have someone they could recommend to you. This is getting a sales VA. The next is you could go direct. And there's onlinejobs.ph, which I had Jonah, the founder, on episode 222. So you can go and listen to that. But that's a really good resource, especially getting people out of the Philippines. Then there's Upwork, right? So it's a form of direct, but it's a platform. And then the last one is agencies. And look, I really highly recommend agencies, especially if you haven't done this before, you've never used a VA before. I think it's really good. And I've got plenty that I can recommend. So just once again, ask me and I will send you a list of some fantastic companies that we're associated with. So 3 key actions for you today. 1 is start with a VA and don't wait to be ready. I hear so many people say, I'll just get my system set up first, then I'll hire a VA. I call BS on that. Don't do that. The second is hit me up for recommendations. Okay, I'm a wealth of knowledge in this space. I can help you. And the third is let go. Okay, let go of all that small stuff in sales. So you can get all the links to this or the show in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast. Just go to episode 280 on the app you're listening to. I recommend the Pocket Cast app. Listen to episode 0.5 if you're new. It will give you a great overview. Please connect and follow me on LinkedIn. I post all the time. And if you know someone interested to get help with their sales admin, please share it with them. They'll love you for it. Remember to ask those follow-up questions just like Kylie did at paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions. Please take action to build, live, and give.
Thanks for listening to the Build, Live, Give podcast. If you like what you heard, please share it and leave us a review. It would mean the world to us.